Welcome to the Flora podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Welcome to another Walk and Talk solo episode here on the Flora Sage Show, where I help you use the 1 degree shift method to align into a life and business that lights you the hell up. Woo! Let's do this. And I just did a little dance. Woo! It is 2023, people! Woo! Oh my gosh, I am so freaking excited. Okay. So if you listened to last week's episode, we talked all about happiness and what it actually is. This week, we're going to talk about curating your next year. Okay, sit down, grab your notebook, all right? And ask yourself, what do I want to experience this year? What do I want to intentionally create? Let's just say you want to intentionally create more travel into your year. Okay, perfect. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go visit your aunt in New Hampshire? Do you want to go visit, like in my case, my son in Hawaii or Northern California? I've got 2 boys. Do you want to go to Paris? Do you want to go to the Netherlands? Do you want to go to Australia or New Zealand? Okay, perfect. Write that down. Just write it down. Don't worry about the how. Just write it down. I want to experience travel, and this is where I would love to go. All right, perfect. So ask yourself, okay, what's one thing I can do that will bring me closer to achieving this? Well, it might be asking yourself, if it's international travel, do I need to get a passport? Do I have a passport? Yes. Okay, check. If not, fill out the application. Go online, print it out, fill it out, go to the post office, get your picture taken, or go to Walgreens or Walmart or wherever it is that you go. Get that done. What's the next step? Maybe get a suitcase that's internationally travel approved, or for carry-on, or for checked bag. Okay, then what? Okay, go on to the interwebs and find out how much a ticket's gonna cost. You wanna do first class, business class? Do you wanna do coach? Start pricing out tickets. Start just exploring. The other day I had a conversation with someone when I shared that I'm going back to Hawaii. She's like, weren't you just there? Isn't it expensive to travel there? I'm like, oh my gosh, no, not at all. The most expensive part of going to Hawaii is the hotel. She's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And then I told her, I said, they even have campgrounds where you could camp for $7 a night. So it's very inexpensive if you know how to travel and if you know how to get curious and to let the experience surprise you. And she brings up her phone and she Googles and she's like, how much is a ticket, yada yada. She actually bought a ticket on the spot for $500. I think it was like 500 and some change. And she's like, I cannot believe, I thought tickets were so much more expensive. And I'm like, no, all you have to do is get curious and say, how can I do this? How can I make this fun? How can I make this part of my reality? Okay, maybe one of the things that you want to experience is more culinary endeavors. Maybe you want to, staying with the theme of Hawaii. Hawaii has a huge food truck culture. So go on to Netflix and put Hawaii food trucks. Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing episodes that you can watch. Go on to YouTube and look and explore and make note of all the places that you want to go. I live in Phoenix. And so my partner and I, we constantly are trying new restaurants and new food trucks and new places to eat. And it's awesome. And that's one of the things that you can do is you can write down, I want to experience new food places, or I want to take a cooking class, or whatever it is, and build these experiences into your life. You know, one of the things that I talk about in my book, The 1 Degree Shift, is that so many times people think life is about these big grand moments. And yeah, those happen, but not very often. Those usually happen maybe once a year, maybe once every 3 or 4 years, maybe once every 10 years. And in between those big grand moments is your everyday life. So why not build in experiences into your daily life? Go on a date night once a week. Pack a picnic and go to a local park for date night if you are on a budget. Even if you're not on a budget, because that's really, really fun. Allow yourself to explore and vacation in your own town. When you become intentional about what you want to experience in your life over the next 6 months or a year, what happens is your life becomes so much richer. So many more experiences, so much vitality, so much enrichment from seeing other people, from experiencing these things, from having conversations with people that you maybe wouldn't, necessarily have because you're in these new environments. So give yourself 20 minutes or an hour or 2 hours if you want to, and just sit down and really ask yourself, what do I intentionally want to experience this year? Now, these are not like New Year's resolutions and all that BS. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What do you want to experience? Do you want to experience more joy? Perfect. What brings you joy? Is walking your dog in the park bring you joy? All right, perfect. Do that every day or once a week or twice a week. If you do it once a week, that's only 52 times out of 365 days. That's not very much, okay? I mean, it's a lot, but then it's not. It just depends on how you look at it. If you want to experience a new restaurant every week, perfect. 52 new restaurants for this whole year. Start Googling new restaurants in my area or restaurants in my area. Make a list. Print it out, put it on your fridge. And every week, every Friday, let's just say, all right, which one do we want to go to now? You can throw a dart at it, maybe not throw a dart at your fridge. Maybe put it on the cork board. Maybe pull it out of the hat. That would be fun. But what do I want to experience? Maybe you want to experience less stress. Okay, perfect. What brings you into that space of relaxation? What brings you into that space of calm? Does your environment? Studies prove the more visual clutter that someone sees in a space, the more cortisol that they have running through their body. Cortisol is the stress hormone in our physical body. So maybe start by eliminating some of the clutter that's in your environment. Maybe learn meditation or learn yoga or start working out. Studies also have proven that when you start moving your body more in exercise, that naturally increases dopamine and all those feel-good chemicals and naturally lowers stress, naturally lowers cortisol levels. So give yourself permission this week to really get into that space of curiosity and possibility for this year. And ask yourself that one question. What do I want to experience this year? And I promise you, at the end of the year, you're going to look back and go, holy shit. Woo! Flora was right. I had a really amazing, really epic year. One of my personal things is I want to travel more. I have a sister in New Mexico. I have 2 sisters in Minnesota. And I have a sister in Kansas. I'm going to go see each one of them this year. I've got one son in Hawaii. and I have another son in Northern California. I'm going to see them multiple times this year. My in-laws, we're not married, we're committed to each other, but I call them my in-laws. They're in Wisconsin. I'm going to go see them several times this year. That requires a lot of airline flights. So what am I doing? I am using an app. This is not a sponsored ad. I'm using an app called Hopper, Hopper, to watch flights. I go in there. You can select where you're flying from and to, and then they'll show you a chart. The green days are the least expensive, and the red and orange days are the most expensive. So you can see throughout the year the price points. So you can say, okay, am I going for a long weekend? Am I going for a week? How long am I going? So you can then say, okay, I want to go in March, or I want to go in October, I want to go in May, or whatever. You select the dates and then you watch the flight. You're going to get text message alerts on the tickets. And if they think they're going to raise or if they think they're going to go lower. This is a godsend, people, because it says, oh, the tickets for here are now this. We anticipate it's going to lower. So you can wait or you can just buy them now. This is awesome. And then what I do is once I go in there and I find a flight on a specific airline for the dates and times that I want to go, I go to that specific airline. I don't buy through Hopper because it's a third party. And it's just easier if you have to change a flight or if you get delayed or whatever. Then you go straight to that airline, go on those dates and times, and 99% of the time, the ticket price is the same on the major airline than it is on the app. So that's a little travel trick for you. But in any case, so I'm going to be traveling almost every single month out of this next year. So I'm planning ahead. And I'm allowing myself to get curious about dates. I'm allowing myself to get creative about what this is going to look like for me. And also arranging, people to watch my animals if my boyfriend and I are both out of town or if we're both going to be going. It's amazing. It's incredible to be able to have this objective and to be able to say, yes, I want this. And years ago, I used to think travel was so expensive. I was like, God, who can afford that? Yada, yada. And the more I dug into it, I realized I'm like, wow, this is actually super affordable and in some cases very, very inexpensive. Very inexpensive. It's incredible. So don't let limitations from what you think something is hold you back. Get curious. Allow yourself to say, you know what, I want to experience this. And I have no idea what this is going to cost me financially, what it's going to cost me emotionally or energetically. But you know what, I'm going to get curious and I'm going to look. I'm going to look. And I'm going to see what this involves. Because if you haven't looked, you don't know. So you're making a judgment on something that you know nothing about or that you have previous experience about, and so much has changed in our lives over the past several years. So again, I want you to sit down for 20 minutes and ask yourself that one question. One question. What do I want to experience this year? And allow yourself to write from the heart. What do you want to experience? And then kind of piggybacking off of last week's episode, what's one thing you can do to start making it happen? That is the 1 degree shift method. The 1 degree shift method is all about finding and discovering where you're at now, which includes radical honesty, where you want to go or what you want to experience, And then ask yourself, what's one thing I can do? That is your 1 degree shift. That's the 1 degree pivot. What's one thing I can do to do this, or to experience that, or to get this other thing, or to be or do or have X, Y, Z? One thing, one little shift, a little 1 degree of shift will align you and position you into that space so that you can have, be, and do the things that you want to. It's very simple, getting what you want. You just have to be clear on what you want. And this simple exercise today, what do I want to experience, is magic for you. Magic. All right. I love you all so much. I hope you find value in this. If you have, share this with anyone that you feel might love to hear this message. Also, if you are a business owner and you are looking for a mentor to help you shift into and align into a business that gives you and provides for you more impact and income, click the link below that says Get Coaching. Read that program page. If it's right for you, click the link. Let's get started. I do have a couple spots open. I do work with people for short bursts of time. That's all that's required. We don't need a super long time together. If you want to, yes, I'm here for it. But we can get in, make some magic happen, get out. So good. So impactful. All right. I love you guys. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mwah! Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. All links mentioned are in today's show notes.